Alrighty, good afternoon, two-stroke turbo fans. As you know, we like working on odd cars in the shop here in Portland, Oregon in early June. Temperature is nice, about 70 degrees, and we have four 15-inch tires that are 3-bolt wheels in the middle of laying on the floor. That's always a good thing. That usually means that there's a French car among us, and you don't have to look very far. You'll see a Peugeot 203 on the rack. I'm sorry, 202. I keep saying 202, 203. It's really a 202. So this is a good customer's car. I got it running, driving, stopping for him. But it had an issue with when the brake shoes heated up, the hand-laid asbestos shoes would glue themselves to the drums and the car wouldn't move. And so that's the only thing we didn't replace. I thought it would be fine once I cleaned them up, but they were soaked with brake fluid, and I tried to clean them with brake clean, but apparently I don't even want to think about the toxic mess between the layers of asbestos. So I had to find a reliner to reline the brake shoes, and I've got the set laying on the floor right there. Stella, let's take a commercial break here. Stella, the shop dog. You want to come say hi, Stella? You do? No. She's on a tear today. There's a coyote across the creek, and she does not like coyotes or coons, so she's been barking all day, which she never does, but seems like she's going to take a break. All right, we're going to take a break, get back to our regularly scheduled content here. We're working on a Peugeot 202, and we're talking about the brake shoes. I'm turning the light on here so we can look at these pretty good. So originally, this car had hand-laid asbestos linings. They were riveted on, and they were of a leading trailing design. And I don't know if you know what that means, but that means that the leading shoe had full material from the anchor point all the way up to the wheel cylinder. There was a full amount of friction surface, even though it was asbestos and it was riveted. And the trailing shoe was a half, so it had material from about here to here. And the way that works is if you have a floating anchor, this one does not. If you have a floating anchor, like in a lot of American cars from the 60s, you have what's called a duo servo type of braking assistance. It gives you not quite power brakes, but the brakes will wedge within the drum, and when they wedge, they can increase the stopping performance by using the wedge. These are not that type. However, these shoes, the old shoes that were on here, were a leading trailing design. And I came to do a little research and realized this model of car is a 1948, which is post-war, comes with the sunroof and hydraulic brakes. So all the Peugeot 203s prior to that had mechanical brakes, which were either rod action or cables, and no sunroof. So what we've done here is we've taken the friction material, bonded it instead of riveted it, got rid of the asbestos. I don't know what this is. Hopefully it's not toxic and I'm not breathing in a bunch of dust. So we have the added improvement from all the many holes that were drilled in the backing plate. We have the added square inches of braking surface material, which adds up to, I don't know, an inch or two more per shoe. Plus, we have the trailing shoe, which now has a complete surface on it. So we've improved the friction surface almost, I would say, 40–50% per each wheel. 4 wheels times that, per shoe, that's a lot. So with the improvement of the rivets now being filled in by bonded material, which, you figure a 1/2-inch rivet and 20 of those, that's a lot of square inches, plus having an extra 2 inches probably on each end of the trailing shoe. So we've got probably 5 or 6 square inches per wheel of additional potential braking friction surface. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to make or create power brakes, but it will make the car stop better if you have more friction surface. It might make the pedal harder to push, I don't know, but this car did not stop well, and I wanted to improve it the best I could. So I sought out a reliner and I talked to him and I was like, hey, this is the deal. I want to make these brakes good. So that's my long spiel and rant on brake shoes. I always try to provide the customer with the best stopping experience. I also took my Ryobi wire wheel and I cleaned all the rust off the inside of the brakes. This one had a lot of rust on it, so I did that on all four. So we are making progress. We've got the front two done. I've got it adjusted properly. You can see I'm going to take one of the 3 wheel studs here. I'm going to spin it, and look at that. It just rolls nice. We have the full shoes in there. We have 2 anchor adjustments, one for each shoe, leading and trailing, if we still had those. Plus, we also have adjustments for the tops of the shoes. There's an eccentric camber for the front and for the rear. So there's actually 4 different adjustments for the brake shoes, 2 adjustments for each shoe on each wheel. That's kind of a lot, and that's smart, I think. So I'm just happy that the car now rolls nice, or will roll nice, which when they don't, this one drags a little bit more, but still it's pretty good. And I'm going to do the same with the rears. I've got the backing plate being assembled on this side, and I think I mentioned we put in new wheel cylinders last go around, now new shoes. Oh, you can get a really good eyeball full of how these eccentric cams work. When you rotate the bolt on the back, it rotates this kind of a seashell type of eccentric, and it will push the shoe towards the drum as they wear. So that's the leading, the trailing, and then on the bottom here we have eccentrics on the anchor pins. I don't know if you can see that or not, but when you rotate this bolt with the flat head on one side, there's an eccentric. I'll show you. Oh, they're both stuck on there. Those are eccentrics as well. Take my word for it. So you can basically eccentric adjust the bottoms, and you can eccentric the tops. Pretty cool. The French really thought that out. These are splined axles for the rear drums to go on, and that's not a differential. That's a worm drive. If you're interested in Peugeot 202 rear axle, it has a torque tube and a worm drive rear end. Totally different gear lube for that. 120 weight or something. It's really odd. And you can see how the shaft comes down, the worm drive is in here, and the axles are above. I don't think it's very sturdy, but it's what the car has. Okay, I think that's going to wrap up your tech session here on Peugeot 202 brakes. And I'm going to click off the camera. Stella, the shop dog, has gone out to find her coyote friend and bark, and we're just going to keep working in the shop. Thanks for coming along. Thanks for clicking on my channel and watching another cool video with an old car. That's what we like to do here. Old foreign car. To put that in perspective, that's really fun. I really enjoy these cars. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks again. See you later. Have a great day.